Welcome back on Diamond. Today I want to propose you a video about the unbox review about the Necrosphinx of the Tomb Kings of Khemri. I always wanted to have this model since the Warhammer Fantasy, but never been able because it was too expensive and had other armies that I was developing, so it was something that it was always going I'll buy later. But now with my birthday 2024 finally have this model thanks to the OldWold. There is something good in that edition, so really quite amazing one. I always loved this and I think that it's fantastic really. Here we can find the box renewed, and it's a single one, but I quite like. It's really quite nice. As you can see, there is really quite a lot of amazing ways, so eventually you can also cut these parts and use them, for example this as a marker for the books and so on. I think that it's really quite nice. And in the back we can find how we can build up this model. We can find the Necrosphinx, but we can see also the Warsphinx, and we can find with the normal version or with the Tomb King, and the Tomb King can be put on here, so on the Warsphinx, or separately, so we can really have quite a lot of different options available. And sincerely I'm quite thinking about how eventually I can even combine such things to realize a complete different model, and I had quite a lot of fun because there are quite a lot of different options, I think, to have fun with this. So I had to see, because I had to see also about, and we see about the model inside, and I think that it will be funny about and quite like. So now we can open such box and see the contents. So let's see about the contents. Here you can find that the mod, it's not small at all, but I quite like, and it's amazing for the amount of detail that it has. Wonderful. And we can see, for example, here many more options. For example, think about this one that could be eventually used as a standard for your armies. Amazing one. Also here we have this, that it's the Tomb King. And it's fantastic simply because the amount of detail it has are wonderful, really fantastic. But think about having these skeletons, how much better than the technically renewed old models are, and really wonderful. This makes you see how there are the old models compared that are really. Anyway, I'm quite glad to have this because you can see that you have quite a lot of different options, for example for the head, so you can create quite a lot of variation even if you have multiple of them. Really quite amazing one. Even the amount of here of details for these parts are simply amazing. You can gain quite a lot of amazing options even if you don't use every piece of this. What remains you can use for other things quite gladly. Really quite amazing one. So now we can go to see about the instructions. So now we go to study a bit about the instructions, and here we have also the basis. Here we have the one for the Tomb King, and here for the model itself. So I not use them because I modify them to use for Age of Sigmar, but it's really quite nice. And here we have the instructions that are really quite useful because you can study, and from the beginning you can find, for example, that you can monetize this part, so that you can have eventually the option about monetizing, so you can have the one of the Necrosphinx or the Warsphinx without having any problem, really, because you can see that it's done with a monetization, eventually a paper bridge that I made in another video. If interested you, it's in the description. So you can have quite a lot of different options to build up, and you can study how you want, even about the heads. Yeah, eventually you can monetize them if you study a bit how to do. So a lot of different things that can be quite nice, and studying this you can gain a lot. For example, if you want to monetize the Tomb Kings that is on this one, you can study and put the money, study a bit where to put and so on, so that you can interchange. Really quite a lot of different options available and quite nice. So I invite you always to study such instruction, because it can easy a lot your way if you want to modify, monetize or so on, and they are amazing. As you've seen, this it's an amazing model and have tons of idea about modifying this, creating variants and so on. So I'm thinking about using this for my army of Osseboreapers, but it could be used in a lot of different ways. And really, I'm not regretting, but I would like to have 2 or 3 of these ones to have even more options, to really have my spreading fantasy completely satisfied, creating different combinations on. I would really like, because for sure I'm thinking about having combination. I have some project yet in mind that I bring you about in the next future so that you can see, but still I will never be able to have plenty of them. So okay, still remember, the parts that you don't use are not to throw away, are to use for other things, because there are quite a lot of options that you can have. Because for example, the Tomb Kings could be used separately to create maybe an army related for necromancer, like in sort of Khemri style, literally, or create an undead army based on Khemri, but using the normal rules for the Osseboreapers or something else. So you can have quite a lot of fun. It's up to you to decide how you want to use them, but they're amazing. Obviously, you can always use them as the OldWold one and play the game. It's always an option. And in that case, eventually I suggest you to monetize the base so that you can interchange, and so eventually changing the base used for one thing or for another one. But wonderful, really wonderful, and I quite love them. Really quite a fantastic model. So from that mode, it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So I hope to see you again to the next time.